Hey, welcome to my channel. Um, just gonna bring up the point. He did well. I'll be honest. He did well, but he didn't go as far as I thought he would. I mean, there were times where like he was essentially in a jam. He got out of it, which is good. But at the same time, this was the Marlins team. Now they're a really good team. Yeah, I mean, they're a decent team, an upcoming team, granted, but they're young. So that's why he was able to get a couple of those jams. The fact is, he was able to get past into the fifth inning and end the fifth inning was good for a first time starter, for a rookie basically. But I expected him to go to the sixth or seventh inning basically. And to be honest, it's more so to the point where like it would have been interesting and curious to see how he would have done against a team of, let's say, the Mariners, the Phillies. Well, actually not the Phillies the way they're going. Well, actually no, the Phillies. It would have been interesting to see how he would have done against the Phillies lineup, or the Dodgers, or even for that matter, the Padres lineup. And if he was in those gym, would he get out the same way as he got out against the Marlins? I don't want to overhype him just yet because McLean is looking to be the real deal. It'd be great if McLean and Tong are the second coming of the Harvey DeGrom era. And it'd be great if Sprout could be like the Syndergaard or Wheeler, basically. I mean, it'd be great if Sprout was like a Wheeler as well, too. Because, let's be honest, it was Harvey, DeGrom, and Wheeler. Those three were pretty much the top, as well as Syndergaard. Syndergaard was great for that period of time, but I think it was more so because he fed off those three, basically. And between Wheeler and Syndergaard, of course, it made sense to keep Wheeler, but we let him go, as well as Syndergaard. It made sense for letting Syndergaard go because I think the bench saw that his decline was imminent at that point. Um, so it's hoping that Sprout becomes that the third player, basically being that McLean, Tong, Sprout, and Peterson could be like that Syndergaard. Because if Peterson's there with these three, I think he'll show that he'll probably try to compete with them at that point from a perspective like I should be the number one starter, etc. With basically, and then you'll have either Sanger or Mineo. I have a feeling Mineo, he's reverted back to what he was in 2023. I think it's more so to the point where he becomes just a long term reliever. Mets might have to trade him or let him go. I hate to say it, but I don't see him getting past the fourth or fifth inning. Senga, I think he'll be good again once he gets a full rest and the next offseason comes along, and he'll be good again. It seems like every time he gets injured, he sucks when he comes back. It's only when a full season has gone by and he comes back the next season that he comes back rejuvenated and willing to prove himself. And that's why he could be that back of the rotation type of guy, the fifth starter, basically, which will help out the Mets. Montes, let's just forget it. It was a complete bust. But Tong, like I said, I mean, right now it was good to see what he did. 6 strikeouts, but it's against the Marlins. It'd be great to see how he would have done against the Phillies lineup, the Dodgers, or even the Padres lineup for that matter. Even the Cubs. I wouldn't be surprised with the Cubs or Brewers. It would have been interesting to see how he done with the Brewers for that matter. I would love to see that. So I don't want to say it's hey, he's the next coming, but it's a little too early to say. I'd rather see a couple more couple more games from him and see how that progresses. Because if he can only get to the fifth inning and finish the fifth inning, but can't get past the fifth inning, then it becomes a little bit of a concern. I mean, you saw what McLean can do, and Peterson at least has the ability to go beyond. Now, granted, yesterday's game against the Marlins, yeah, I didn't expect that, but for whatever reason, the Mets seem to never not show up against 500 teams. I don't know why. It just seems like their defense just sucks, mental errors and whatnot. Who knows? It seems like the Mets are having a lot of mental errors against the Marlins. This is a team that they should have swept, similar to the Nationals. They should have swept, but they're not. I don't know why. But in any case, I would love to see how Tong progresses. Let's say against the Tigers. I mean, granted, it's the Tigers as well too, not doing so well, but it would be interesting to see how he does against them as well too. But Clay, I think again, like I said, he's the real deal. The Mets make it into the playoffs. He becomes your number one starter. Let's be honest. He becomes your number one starter. Peterson becomes your number two starter at that point, unfortunately. Holmes, I hate to say this, but he's decent. But again, I think he's just too tired out. I think he was just overworking himself. I think he's got to, like, basically come back into the bullpen, build himself up, build up that strength again at that point, and go forward with that. Like I said, I'm hoping this is a case where Manea gets relegated back into the bullpen. I don't know who you lose in the bullpen to bring Sproat up because we need Sproat as well too. Let's be honest. I think Sproat would be I think he needs a new challenge. I think he's just getting tired. And the fact that he was going to the bullpen, I think he just wasn't able to handle it. But in any case, um, I, I I think the Mets' future looks very, very bright. Let's be honest. I think that does look very bright. Vientos is on a tear now, and it's great to see him on a tear now. And I think if he keeps going like this, if the Mets can't re-sign Alonso, I think the Mets trade Vientos. Get as much capital as you can from Vientos as you can, because quite honestly, I don't want to have another JD Davis situation where he was good with the Mets and then sucks the next year and we couldn't get much. It's a good thing the Mets did. It's a good thing Stearns was patient with Vientos. Like, let's keep him a little bit more on board because I know his potential. I know he can garner more homers and he could raise his trade value again. And hopefully that happens. Trade him off and maybe get someone in return. Hey, if the Mets can get Skeens, by giving up Vientos, giving up Batty, maybe another pitcher in the minors or two to get Skeens, I'll do it. Anyways, I think anyone would do it in a heartbeat to get Skeens. Let's be honest. But in any case, Sprout, as I said, I'm hoping he comes to the show, but chances are it's probably going to be in the bullpen. Montas, he's gone, of course, so he's in the injured list, so that's not a problem. Senga, I don't think he's going to do really well. Let's see what happens again in his next start. If he can get past the fifth inning, all right. Manea, I hate to say this, but if he doesn't get past the fourth or fifth inning, I think more so the fourth inning. If he doesn't get past the fourth inning, I hate to say it, but he's probably gonna have to go to the bullpen because let him build himself back up. Or two, the fact is, if you're gonna get a good solid 3 inning start from him, then he's better as a long term reliever. Let's be honest. You saw what happened last year. David Peterson, he was used in that role as a long term reliever, and it worked out really well for the Mets. And I think that's what the Mets are going to need in this situation when it comes to playoffs. If they make the playoffs, they're going to need a long term reliever, like a guy that can go 3 to 4 innings. And I think Manea is that person. Senga, maybe 1 to 2 innings at best. But in any case, I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping Manea and Senga do really well. I'm hoping Sprout basically comes up, or Sproat comes up very soon. Tong, I'm hoping he does really well again. I mean, everyone's making the comparison to him and Lincecum. The only thing is Lincecum, he was doing really well. He started off as a rookie from the beginning of the season and did really well, and you saw it. Tong, I think it might have been the nerves. Like I said, I need that second game to see how he fares up against that at that point. Because McLean, when you saw the second game, you saw hey, this is the real deal. After the third game, you knew he was the real deal at that point. I need to see how Tong does in the second game. We'll see at that point. Yes, there's a lot of similarities to him and Lincecum. But the thing is Lincecum could only go for 4 or 5, 6 years, basically, 6 to 7 years. I'll be interested to see if Tong can actually do that. If we get 6 to 7 years out of him as well, too, hey, that'd be great, honestly. But I'd prefer a full 10 to 11 years before Tommy John surgery. Thing is, this kid's gonna have Tommy John surgery. The way his delivery is, it's gonna be. But in any case, I'm hoping I'm wrong. But with that, I'll leave it at that. You're welcome to leave a comment in the comment section. I do read my comments and I do respond to them when they warrant a response. If you like this video, please hit the like button. With the like buttons, I'm actually able to determine which content I should focus on more and more of. I mean, whether it be Formula One, baseball, football. Well, I'll talk about football anyways. Soccer, hockey, for that matter, or football, as well as Formula One, which is going on right now at this point as well too. But with that, If you haven't subscribed, I also ask if you can subscribe to my channel as well. Thank you for that. With that, I'll leave it to that. Unfiltered, unedited, and of course, always unrehearsed. Until next time.